Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Wow, something nice today, something a bit unusual. So it's the ICM latest release, 32nd scale, the Bucker, the Bu131D, the winter version with skis. So it's got ski landing gear. How epic is this? Now this is quite an interesting aircraft. For me, for two reasons. One, if any of you watch me on Peter Goes Rogue, you'll have seen over the bank holiday at the end of May, a couple of weeks ago now, that there was one of these actually flew over, not with skis on obviously, but one flew over us and actually had footage of it flying directly over us. Because I was there with my friend Steve, and it's a regular, it flies in, there's a little airfield near Arley, not far from the M6 motorway actually, and it's based there. And it's like this interwar training aircraft basically, and it makes a lovely noise and it's a great sight to see it flying over. So that video I mentioned, which had the GT Championship at Oulton Park, I think it's called GT Championship, it's only 5 minutes long, that video, so go and have a look at it on Peter Goes Rogue and you'll see this aircraft, you can hear it. So it's quite germane that this should come up suddenly, just a week or two afterwards. And it says the Bucker Bu131D training biplane equipped with original Bucker design winter landing gear. They call it Bucker Snow Kufen. Kufen? I think that's basically snow gear, basically. Includes high quality 3D printed resin skis. Oh, 3D printed resin skis. That's interesting. Now this is a new thing for ICM. That's very interesting. We'll look at that in a second. It says it's accurate reproduction of the aircraft's geometry, true to the original, and features a detailed engine. Well, better than Qatari then. Oops. Realistically rendered fabric surfaces on the fuselage and wings. This sounds very interesting kit actually. The decals with 2 marking options for German flying schools, and it has got 90 parts. It's not got a lot of parts. The only thing that puts me off this model is it needs rigging. Oh, God forgive us. I get very nervous when there's planes with rigging, biplanes. Anyway, let's look at the side. Oh yes, here we go. So it just looks awfully weird with these skis on instead of having wheels, I've got to say. Almost looks like some sort of a, I don't know, it looks like it's had an accident. There we go. So this is the Aviation School 71 or the Aviation School 63, Winter 41. Oh wow, so that's very interesting. So I guess this is getting their pilots ready for the campaign in the Soviet Union. Operation Barbarossa, which of course they had a grueling campaign there in 41-42 especially. Now we will try and get into this. We're in. This is relatively easy. I'm looking forward to seeing these resin parts. That's going to be interesting. I don't think I've seen them done that before, have they? Not that I can recall. So they're a bit like Airfix. They're dabbling in resin parts. Now I'm not. Everybody knows I'm not the. Trouble in my gloves here. I'm not the biggest fan of resin, only because I struggle with CA glue, cyanoacrylate. I'm allergic to it. But I have got CA special glues I can use for that. Maybe the arch one. There you go, stay there. Alright then, let's have a look at what we've got here. This is going to be very interesting, I think. Yes, we've got a bag. There's a bag of resin skis. Hey, I think this is going to capture people's imagination more than I was anticipating. I thought it was going to be an interesting model, but I didn't realize it had resin. Fantastic. Let's have a look. Start off, as I often do, just start off with the decals. Now it has got the swastikas, but they're not formed, of course. They're done very cleverly, so nobody can get knickers in a twist and get all upset about it, you know. And these, I've got to say, these decals look absolutely gorgeous. They look like the traditional ICM own brand decals. Very bright, very crisp, very sharp. Beautiful, beautiful, very nice. Look at that, isn't that nice? This sort of motif of the flying school. Epic. Oh, that's really nice. I like that. There's another one there. What's that one? A few instruments here as well. With skis, it says. Hey! The winter version. Well, we like it already. Let's see what delights we have in store here. What does it say on the instructions? It says, I just like the way they give you 2 or 3 paragraphs. That's all we need. We don't need to have Tamiya sometimes give you pages of it, I know, but this is actually quite adequate. It's very good. The first prototype of the German Bucker Bu131 young man, literally meaning the same thing in English, training biplane, took to the air in 1934. So it was, you know, long after the era of the biplane, really. It was the end of the era. It's like the Gladiator, really. The serial production then soon followed with the Ambi Bud factory in Johannisthal. Johannisthal, where's that? Is that in the north? Can't remember. Renowned for its excellent handling characteristics, high manoeuvrability and elegant design, the aircraft became one of the most popular training platforms of all time. Sorry, I said there was 2 reasons why I had an interest in it. Sorry, I just interrupted myself here. The second reason was when I worked for a company called Mondi about 10 years ago. I joined them 10 years ago. There's a chap there who was one of the technical product experts, like a specialist, based at Raubling, which is near Munich. And he was just retiring after about a year after I joined. He was retiring, and they had this event, like a party. It was like a sales conference thing, and we had this sort of a fancy event put on in the evening, you know. Anyway, he was given an award, and they gave him. He was going to retire, and he actually owned one of these. He'd put his life savings into owning one. And they also gave him as a gift, slight aside, I know, but they gave him a 2-week rental of a Volkswagen camper van, one of these Resto camper vans from some reputable company, so he could travel around Europe in it. It's quite funny. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Sorry. Nice guy though. I was quite sorry to see him go. I'd only just got to know him when he was retiring, you know. And it says the Bucker Bu131 was widely used by the Luftwaffe throughout the Second World War for its training schools. The third and final production variant remained in manufacture until 1942. Gosh. Developed on the basis of operational experience gained with the earlier A and B models, it incorporated improvements to the engine, control systems and its landing gear. For operation on winter airfields, Bucker developed dedicated skis, the Bucker Schneekufen, snow gear, which could be quickly and easily fitted to the aircraft. The Bu131s equipped with skis were extensively used in military flight schools, allowing pilot training to continue even in heavy winter snow conditions when conventional wheeled aircraft could no longer be used and such aircraft were grounded. How about that? There you go. Right, well this is a new kit for me, so I'll give you the full Monty on this, but at least it's got not too many parts, so it won't be too grueling. So we've got a couple of parts. Obviously the wheels and tyres, which are omitted because you won't be using those, obviously. And then in terms of construction, just come back a little bit. In terms of construction, we're going to start with building our top and is it the top wing? It's the bottom wing, in fact. Building up your bottom wing, onto which the aircraft ultimately sort of the fuselage clips onto. Then you've got this traditional sort of framework side to the cockpit area, and there's like a main sort of A-frame design for the structure of the fuselage. Putting that between the 2 fuselage halves. Then you've got your horizontal stabilisers coming in. Sorry, I omitted to mention the ailerons going on there. And this is, as I say, this is the lower wing. Definitely the lower of the biplane wing setup. And then over here we've got the, as I mentioned, the main fuselage is then going to come down on top of the lower wing. Then you're building up the sort of the support framework that's going to be supporting the cockpit. You've got your fuel tank there, number 17, which is going to go in between. It looks like, I think it's the fuel tank. I'm pretty sure it is, with a bit of cowling on the top. That's not a great place for your fuel tank, but anyway, is it the fuel? Is it not the fuel? I might be wrong actually. I think it's no, it's not. It's just the separator between pilot and trainee. I think the fuel tank goes ahead under the cowling. And then you've got your support frames for the engine going in, the kind of engine bearers. Then you've got your fuel tank. There it is. Whoops. There it is. That's the fuel tank going in just behind the engine. And your front firewall bulkhead here. And then we've got like nice little doors on either side for them to get in and out. Looks like they can get out on either side as well. Doors on both sides. Then we're going to build up our engine. Did it say what it was? I forgot to check that. Oh, it's a Hearth. A Hearth. It's got 100 horsepower. It's on the front here. Yes, and it's got a maximum speed of 183 k's. That's what's that? 120 miles an hour, something like that. It's not bad, is it, for a training plane? It's more than enough. So your Hearth. How many cylinders is that? Doesn't say how many cylinders it is. I'm not very familiar with the Hearth engine, but it looks like it's a 4-cylinder to me, I think. Yeah, it's a 4-cylinder. It's a straight 4. It's nothing fancy. It's almost like a car engine. Anyway, that's going on there, and then you're going to bring in all your cowling on top of it. Of course, you've got your propeller at the front, and that's going to go in front of your engine. Then we have got the side cowlings here for the engine. We've got our little windscreens that go in front of both pilot and trainee, and then it doesn't explain it very well because they often don't on ICM, but you do flip the model over then, and then you're going to work on the underneath, and then you're going to move across here, suddenly going back the right way up without telling you, but it's a bit confusing, isn't it? Going to build up your top wing then in 2 sections, top and bottom. Running in, again the ailerons coming in, and then you've got your cabane struts there being popped in there, and then you're going to bring the top and bottom wing together to make it a biplane. Elevators are going on here too. So, elevators going in here. These are actually the exhausts for the 4 cylinders underneath, would you believe? And then you've got your control active actuator rods for the elevator and rudder. And then the interesting business end, where we're going to get this rather strange, unusual landing gear, which is basically skis. And here they come. So this is where you're going to be using. It's got a ski at the back as well. Look, how about that? And here they are. So these are the 2 skis, which are resin 3D printed. And that's it. That's it. You have your completed Bu131D. Complete your skis. Looks amazing. And then it tells you, well, it doesn't tell you very well, but basically it's telling you to put your rigging on. Oh, rigging in the rigging. I don't like rigging. But, you know, you've really got to do it if you want to make it completely realistic. And then here we go. So we've got the pilot school at Prosnitz, 1942 latest it says. And then Marienbad, winter of 1941, the Marienbad. And again, it's the pilot school, AB63 in this case. Very interesting indeed. Well, so far so good. I'm really going to have a good look at this because they say it's not got that many parts. It's not going to overwhelm us like they can do sometimes. You know, wing at wing. But the only thing that would overwhelm you is that rigging, I think. It hasn't got that much, but yeah. For those of you that are not as frightened as I am and say, man up, how hard can it be? I'll just remind you about our good friend Mr. Phil Flory, who's, I found out a bit more about this. It's Sopwith Camel, which is the one I was going to build, and Wing at Wings, of course. Apparently I missed a bit of the story. Well, I didn't know. I think it was Alex that said this. Apparently Mr. Flory's wife accidentally caught it or was dusting it or she was involved, and it got dropped onto the floor, and then with the impact, then I think it just either snapped or it over tensioned the rigging line, which is under some tension, and I think the whole thing just kind of collapsed, and it became, you'd have to build it again from scratch, not quite from scratch, but a major restoration job would be needed to repair it, and he binned it. Oh, may God forgive his soul, sinner. Phil, I'm shocked. Anyway, there we go. These things happen. Reminds me of the days, I've told the story before, I think, but it reminds me of the days back in, well, on the day of 9/11, actually. I think I've told this story. On the day of 9/11, the morning of 9/11, so that's actually a number of hours before the actual incidents happened in America, I'd had some major issues with my cleaner. This is when, before I was married, and I used to travel a lot. I didn't need a cleaner because I just didn't have time to do it. And I had a fairly big house, so my cleaner used to come. And she was a very nice lady, but she was just very insensitive to models and kept smashing them up, and she got fired, I'm afraid. I had to sack her because it just didn't get any better. And the day I sacked her, I actually didn't sack her to her face. I sacked her by, she had like a boss, like an agency, and I had to tell her that she was done, you know. And then later that day, 9/11 happened, same day. Right, enough of that. Let's get into this. So it just shows that ladies dusting, and no, please stay away. Yeah, it isn't just ladies. I've done it myself. It's not that difficult to do. But look at this. What a lovely looking aircraft with a swept wing. Isn't it nice? Hey, I like it. Look at that. Wow. Clearly see the fabric effect, can't you? I like it. Yeah, I like that a lot. Well, this is a really nice looking model, I've got to say. Very clean. Quite an interesting shape, you know. These lovely swept back wings. Looks quite advanced for its time, really. Perhaps the fuselage looks a bit more World War One, if you know what I mean. But it's a good looking plane, isn't it? Let's have a look at the side. Here we go. Beautifully. Look at the rendering of the moulding quality here is absolutely stunning. Look at this. Look at some of these parts. How finely done they are. Look how fine this is here. It's so thin. Really nice. No flash, no short shots, no warping, no defects at all. Look at that. Gorgeous. This kit's exceeded my expectations by some measure, I've got to say. I thought it was going to be an older tool, but obviously not. Didn't actually check the tooling date. I think it's a new one, isn't it? It's certainly got the aura of their very latest work. Look at the engine. It's got some nice detail on the cylinders. Look at that. Nice. Yeah. And there's the front of the cowl where the spinner, the propeller goes, I should say. There is no spinner. There is the propeller itself. Lovely parts. There's your sump. Look, your engine sump for the engine. And here's those wheels that you won't, of course, be using. Well, that's really nice. And I can't believe the cleanness of the moulding when you see some of these finer parts like this. Such sharp, clean moulds without any flash or any nonsense, you know. Look at that. That's as good as wingnut wings, I'd say. It's got to feel a bit like a wingnut wings, this kit, in many ways. I'm not just saying that. It's really nice. Then we've got some clear parts, which we'll have a quick look at. Get the focus would help. Let's just try and fight my way in here. Whoops. I think we got it. Whoops, sorry. It's not supposed to be a show about watches. Here we go. We're in. Those little windscreens are actually very cute, aren't they? They are a proper windshield, though. You know, they're not just the really tiny ones you get in some of the fighters. You know, that's proper wind deflector, isn't it? And there you got your instruments. Yeah, instrumentation. Yes, we like it a lot. Now, that just leaves us, because it hasn't got many parts. And I think you could, I was going to say build this in a weekend, certainly in a long weekend, like an Easter weekend or over Christmas weekend or something like that, you know what I mean? If you had 3-4 days, I think you could make this without too much trouble, because it just isn't art heavy. It's a nice simple aircraft. That's lovely. And look at this. Resin parts. Oh, this is cool. 3D printed resin from ICM. How cool is this? Hey, I think this could be a sign of things to come from ICM. Look at that. Let's get it out. Proper look. So here we go. So it's our 3D printed skids. There they are. Resin 3D printing. Now I've got to say that is very, very nicely done. What do you reckon? So obviously just got to cut it very, very carefully to free it up. Look at that. Great big skids, aren't they? Huge, great wide ones. Yeah, I like it. That's nice. And then there's one for the tail as well, a little small one for the tail. Tail skid. How cool is that? Yeah, we like this. This is an excellent kit. It's not the sort of subject I normally get very excited about, but they've done a few of these fine different models now, the flying skid, with the Henschel, for example, the 1, 2, 3. And they're doing it really well, aren't they? They are doing it really, really well. That is really nice resin, actually. And it's always a bit fiddly getting it off, of course, but that's just the nature of the beast. What a smashing kit! Well, this is totally way exceeded what I expected. Much more to it than I thought. It's nice and it looks high quality, supreme moulding, very, very clean. Oops, I'm going to unstuck from there. In the bag, no problem. Yes, it is. And in there with our resin. What a corker! Yeah, that has well exceeded what I was expecting, because I thought, don't really want that, it's not my subject. Glad I did now, because it's absolutely brilliant. Banging, that is banging. And it goes in nice and easy. You could say it's overboxed, but we're not going to complain at all. I'm going to give it 10 out of 10, because there's nothing not to like in there. You've got lovely decals, a nice straightforward build. Well, apart from the rigging, you don't have to rig it if you don't want to. I don't think anybody's going to particularly notice, because it's got all the struts, you know. I think you get away without it, without too much of a problem. And it's not such a well-known aircraft. But it's 10 out of 10 from me. Well done to ICM. It's an absolutely brilliant kit. Really nice one, and better and beyond my expectations or what I was anticipating. I thought it'd be nice, but didn't think it'd be that nice. Yeah, well done with the 3D resin printing. I'm perhaps going to get some more of that, you know. Okay, brilliant stuff. Thanks very much. Hope you'll give me 10 out of 10 by giving me a thumbs up. Give me a like, because it does help the channel an awful lot, please. Can I just mention as well, my sister channel, Peter Goes Rogue, really needs help. It's just, I haven't lost any subscribers, but it's just sort of stopped. Some strange stuff going on YouTube. I'm not going to moan about it here and now, but I've seen 3 other channels that are really big channels, and they're all moaning about YouTube issues, so I know it's not me. But if you can try and subscribe, if you're watching this programme, please go and have a look at Peter Goes Rogue. We've got all manner of things there, from anything from fighter jets, you know, real ones. We've got, you know, puppet shows, car shows, you name it, we've got it. We've got the cat playing and all sorts of crazy stuff. Just a huge variety. Talks about history, talks about TV shows. Anything and everything is on there. Anything and everything. Including, did I ever tell you about the time that I flew in a Spitfire? I did tell you. Okay, we can go see it. Get in there anyway. This is, I didn't even bother with the trainer. I went straight to the warplane, you know what I mean? Took the controls. Anyway, thank you very much. Please do try and subscribe to Peter Goes Rogue, my sister channel. Be a big help to us. Thank you very much indeed. Hope you thought it was interesting. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to become a member if you want to join and become a membership. Lots of advantages, including getting your hands on kits like this at some point in the future. Usually after 3 to 6 months membership, we give you a lovely kit, a nice one. It'll be probably a review sample. Most of them are, not all of them, but I promise you they will be things that are worth having and not being touched by human hand, of course. In the meantime, until we meet again, thank you for your time and attention. Really appreciate you watching the show. Hope that gave you some enthusiasm for something a bit different. And I say, in Cheshire, this thing's flying around in mid-north Cheshire. Perhaps central Cheshire, I suppose. And it's lovely. It's always out on a nice sunny day. It flies around and back and forth, and it's got a nice engine. So it's the Verth engine. Interesting stuff. Anyway, till next time. Thanks a lot. Take care of yourselves. And bye for now.